There are over 30,000 temples in the world dedicated to one man. He's worshipped by police officers and by organized crime, by soldiers and by merchants, by Taoists, by Buddhists, and even by some Christians in Southeast Asia. His image sits in restaurants from Hong Kong to Los Angeles. His portrait hangs in courtrooms across Taiwan. His statue guards the gates of temples in Vietnam, Singapore, Malaysia, and Japan. And this man, he died over 1,800 years ago. He was not a king. He was not an emperor. He was a soldier. So what did Guan Yu do in one single lifetime that turned him into something humanity could not let go of? That's what we're going to find out today. Let's start at the beginning, and the beginning is dark. Around 160 AD, in the Hedong commandery of what is now Shanxi Province, China, a boy named Guan Yu was born. We know almost nothing about his early years. The historical records are thin. But we do know this. Before Guan Yu became a legend, before he became a general, before he became a god, he killed a man. The records suggest he killed a powerful local official, or possibly a corrupt bully who had wronged an innocent person. Some say it was an act of justice. Others say it was rage. Either way, Guan Yu was now a fugitive. He fled, and for years he wandered. No home, no army, no name that anyone remembered. Just a man with a halberd, a red face. Descriptions say his skin was naturally ruddy, almost scarlet, and nowhere to go. This is the beginning of Guan Yu's story. Not heroic, not divine, just human, flawed, running. And then he met two men who would change everything. The year is around 184 AD. China is burning. The Han Dynasty is collapsing. Peasant rebellions are erupting everywhere. Warlords are rising. The country is fragmenting into chaos. And in the middle of all this, a man named Liu Bei is trying to build something from nothing. Liu Bei claimed to be a distant relative of the Han imperial family, but in reality, he was poor. He sold sandals and woven mats to survive. He had a dream of restoring the Han dynasty, but he had no army, no resources, and no way to make it happen. That is, until he met Guan Yu and another man, Zhang, a butcher known for his explosive temper and terrifying strength. Three strangers, three very different men. And according to the famous Romance of the Three Kingdoms, the semi-historical novel that shaped how billions of people understand this era, these three men made a vow in a peach garden. They swore, "We were not born on the same day, in the same month, in the same year, but we pray to die on the same day, in the same month, in the same year. Brotherhood, loyalty, life and death, bound together." Now here's what makes this remarkable. Liu Bei, Zhang, and Guan Yu built something out of that vow. They recruited soldiers, they fought together, they bled together. And Guan Yu became more than a fighter. He became Liu Bei's right hand, his shield, his most trusted general. But loyalty like that is only meaningful when it's tested. And the test that came for Guan Yu was one of the most brutal in history. Around 200 AD, disaster struck. Liu Bei and his small forces were overwhelmed by Cao Cao, the most powerful warlord in China. Cao Cao commanded hundreds of thousands of soldiers, vast resources, and terrifying military genius. Liu Bei scattered. He fled. His forces were broken. And Guan Yu? Guan Yu was captured. Now Cao Cao was no ordinary enemy. He was a man who understood talent, and he recognized immediately that Guan Yu was exceptional. So instead of executing him, Cao Cao offered Guan Yu everything: wealth, honor, a high-ranking position in his own army, the finest horses, gifts of silk and gold, celebrations in his honor. Cao Cao essentially said, "Stop fighting for a man who has nothing. Fight for me. I will make you great." And here's what makes this such a defining moment. Guan Yu accepted the gifts. He served temporarily under Cao Cao. He even fought battles for Cao Cao, winning one of history's most dramatic single combats, killing the enemy general Yan Liang. The world watched, and many whispered, had Guan Yu betrayed Liu Bei? But then, Liu Bei was located. And without hesitation, Guan Yu returned his gifts, left behind every comfort Cao Cao had given him, and rode through Cao Cao's territories, fighting past checkpoints, refusing to stop, until he reached Liu Bei. Cao Cao, watching this, reportedly said, "Every man should have such a loyal friend." He let Guan Yu go, not because he had to, because loyalty like that, he couldn't bring himself to destroy it. This moment is the cornerstone of Guan Yu's legend. This is why he became the god of loyalty. This is why police and criminals alike bow to his image, both believing they embody his code. But the story doesn't end in triumph. It ends in tragedy. Years passed. The Three Kingdoms era took shape. Liu Bei finally had his kingdom, Shu Han. Guan Yu was given command of Jingzhou, a critical strategic territory. It was the most important assignment Liu Bei could give anyone. He gave it to Guan Yu. And for a time, Guan Yu was at his peak. He launched a northern campaign against Cao Cao's forces. He won stunning victories. He flooded enemy encampments. He captured one of Cao Cao's greatest generals. His name shook the entire north. Cao Cao reportedly considered moving his capital to escape Guan Yu's threat. But Guan Yu had a blind spot. He underestimated his southern neighbor, the kingdom of Eastern Wu, led by Sun Quan. Sun Quan had long wanted to claim Jingzhou. He sent a proposal. His son would marry Guan Yu's daughter, an alliance, a bond, security. Guan Yu refused, contemptuously, reportedly calling Sun Quan's son unworthy. It was a catastrophic mistake. Sun Quan turned to Cao Cao. Together, they coordinated a strike from both sides. Eastern Wu General Lu Meng marched on Jingzhou, not with fire and sword, but with kindness. He ordered his soldiers to treat the local population with complete respect. He paid for what his army consumed. He left no destruction behind. The people of Jingzhou opened their gates. Without a battle, Guan Yu, now surrounded and betrayed from within, saw his army dissolve. His soldiers received word that their families in Jingzhou were safe under Wu's protection. They had no reason to fight. They left. Guan Yu fled with a shrinking force, trying to reach safety. He was captured. In 220 AD, Guan Yu was executed. He was approximately 58 or 59 years old. The man who had survived 100 battles, who had refused the gifts of the most powerful warlord in China, who had ridden through enemy checkpoints alone out of loyalty, was taken. Not by a greater warrior, by politics, by pride, by a mistake he could have avoided. And yet, his death was not the end of his story. It was the beginning of something else entirely. After his death, Guan Yu began his transformation. First, soldiers told stories. Then, emperors gave him titles. By the Tang Dynasty, he was honored as a great general. By the Song Dynasty, he was a king. By the Ming Dynasty, he was elevated to the rank of emperor within religious tradition. By the Qing Dynasty, he was a god, Guandi, the god of war, the god of righteousness, the protector protector of the people. Temples were built across China and then across Asia, wherever Chinese communities settled. Today, the man who once fled his hometown as a fugitive is worshipped in more countries than most religions reach. But here's the question worth sitting with. Why him? Why not one of the brilliant emperors? Why not the great philosophers? Why not Cao Cao himself, who was arguably the most gifted strategist of the era? Because Guan Yu represented something that human beings across every culture hunger for. The proof that loyalty is real. That a man can hold to his word even when the world offers him every reason to abandon it. That integrity isn't just a word. It's a choice you make over and over again when no one is forcing you to. We don't worship Guan Yu because he never made mistakes. We worship him because he did make mistakes. And through all of them, the core of who he was never broke. That's the story of a man who became a god. Not because he was perfect, but because he was, in the most important ways, unmovable. If this story moved you, if you want to go deeper into the Three Kingdoms era, the rise and fall of kingdoms, and the human beings behind the legend, subscribe and hit the bell. There's much more to come, and I'll see you in the next one.